Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the SU-100Y. It's a Tier 6 Soviet premium tank destroyer. It's located on the westbourne of Airfield under the command of MacGyver1970. Well, this tank is mostly known by the name that Quickie Baby gave it, the box tank. Yes, because it's kind of boxy in the casement, which is actually around the crew. Now, it's based on the T-100 heavy tank. They only made one prototype and it was designed to knock down fortifications during the Winter War against the Finns between 1939 and 1940. Now, it's got a 13cm naval gun, the B-13S2, and that naval gun was the same that was actually put onto cruisers and also naval batteries, so it's very, very powerful. The alpha is 440, which makes it one of the highest alphas in the game at this tier. Oh, look at the damage he just did to that VK. 408 hit points, a low roll, and he stripped away that guy's hit points, so he's now down to just virtually nothing. Now, it was a good snapshot, but it just goes to show how good this gun is. It really is quite lethal. And you notice he used his right hand mouse button there to hold the aim on a specific spot, whilst he had a quick look elsewhere. Now, the casement's fairly weak, but it's only 16mm of armour, but the gun is absolutely phenomenal in what it can do. And so long as you don't get hauled by the enemy, because it's fairly easy for tier 6 tanks to penetrate 60mm of armour, then you should be able to deal out a huge amount of damage on the enemy. The trouble is that the box itself is actually quite big, so it's fairly easy to see, and you can get hit quite easily by the enemy. Especially, you don't want to side scrape in this thing, because as you're side scraping out, the enemy will see your weak spots or your weak casement, and they'll shoot at that, and you won't be able to get a gun on it. So, not a tank to side scrape in. It's a tank to snipe in from a distance. He's looking around for targets to see where everyone is. Okay, he doesn't appear to be getting much at the moment. Oh, he spoke too or moved too soon there, because all of a sudden enemy tanks have turned up at the heavy tank alley. And yes, the camo should extend over the top of those bushes. The VK's not wanting to come back, so he's staying safe where he is. But it looks like our Super Hellcat really doesn't realise that he's a tank destroyer, because he's trying to mix it with the enemy heavy tanks, and of course he's losing a lot of hit points. It's now down to just 115. Meanwhile, the enemy Porlak tank is also exchanging a lot of fire, and unfortunately our Hellcat's now died. Okay, I have a feeling... Oh, no, the VK2801 is now dead. He just died. Our T-3485M got him. Now, this tank destroyer was originally proposed to have a 152mm gun, but actually then ended up with the 13cm. But it's very, very good with that 13cm. The prototype, oh, takes out the Porlak tank with one round. I was about to say the prototype for this tank, the only one in existence, is now in the tank museum at Kubinka. So if you want to see it, it's there. Oh, now what happened there? I think the shell went right over the top of the strib. It deviated upwards and missed him, but he's going to try and get another shot in. The standard reload time is 15.34, and he got him! One round! The standard reload is 15.34, and you can see here that MacGyver has got 12.99. Okay, we're 2 down on the enemy at the moment. the enemy seems to be doing a little better down in the south, but they have cleared all the tanks in this area, so we're basically the stopgap, or the stop to stop the enemy from moving in. Oh, now interesting, a T-34 on this side of Temple Mount. He's low on hit points and he's out the game, but we've got a Jackson there. Oh, and he got him! One shot! It's that overwhelming alpha, you see. That's the thing. 440 is such a high alpha. You can one-shot a lot of enemy tanks out of the game, especially if they've taken some damage from beforehand. That Jackson's not, his total XP is, health rather, is not 440, but he obviously taken some damage before, and it was just an easy kill from the guy to make. Now it is a premium tank, so it is on sale in the gift shop quite often. I believe it's permanently on sale actually in the gift shop, and it's not too expensive considering it's tier 6. But you do need to learn how to play it to avoid being spotted by the enemy, otherwise you will get punctured. You could lose a lot of hit points. But I have seen some box tanks earn Top Guns and also Bradley Waters, so it is possible to wipe out the enemy team if you're good enough. And it's also quite a heavy tank as well, 67 tons of it, huge. So it's a good ram killer if you ever do come across the enemy. It is based on a heavy tank after all. And if you want to know why I mentioned the 152mm gun, they were going to put a 152 on, but they didn't do that after they put the 152 on the KV2 instead. So that's the reason why it got the 13cm gun. Plus, of course, the 13cm gun, as I said, was standard for naval cruisers and gun fortifications, so they had plenty of those spare. It wasn't as if they were running short. Just missed the SU-100. I think the shell velocity let him down there. It's a bit slow, which means you have to lead your targets just a little, otherwise they might miss. He's firing the standard AP at the moment, which has got 196mm of pen, and with the premium ones it'll do 171. So, you know, a fair bit of pen, but it's actually the armor piercing that's got more pen than the premium rounds. The premium rounds have actually got less pen, but they've got more damage. 510. No, you're not going to get through the amphitheater walls. That's the advantage of using the premium rounds. You get more damage with the premium rounds, just like you do with the Hesh rounds. You get more damage, but less pen. Okay, it's going to try and shoot over the top. Trying to arrange it. There's only the... Oh, we can get him now. And he does. That's his 4th kill. There's still 6 enemies out there. Okay, that's Super Hellcat's been fairly badly damaged. He'd make a good one shot. Of course, he doesn't want to go up on Temple Mount, because if he does, chances are he'll get spotted and damaged. But there is an IKV-90B somewhere up on that hill in the pocket. That's where he was last seen. So ideally we want to stay behind this camo area here, the bushes. Because if that IKV-90 is still up there, and he did try a blind shot, but if he's still up there, then he could get 90mm rounds into us from quite some distance away. And there's the Super Hellcat. Now he can shoot him from here. He's coming this direction. And he's out of the game, and that's his 5th kill. Okay, the IKV-90B is up there. 90mm round, remember. So, if I remember correctly, it's either 280 or 320 for the Alpha. Can't remember which one it is, but it's still a lot. So, ideally, you don't want the IKV to get around into you, because he'll just go straight through the casement as if it's paper. This is not going so well now, because all we've got is the Stug 3 Aslains up the other end of the airfield, who's not really participating in the battle at all, And just behind us, or to our right now, is the gorilla. So MacGyver's decided he's got to try and hold this corner for the moment. And he's trying to get himself into a position where he can actually defend against the enemy tanks who are going for the cap area. There's a T-29 out there somewhere. There's the T-29. Okay, this Mr. T-29, he spotted us. And he's out the game. That's the Top Gun. Excellent. That big 440 Alpha really helped him here. Now the gorilla is hovering around us. We're acting as personal bodyguard to a gorilla. Just hope to hell that IKV-90B doesn't find the gorilla, because he might be able to severely damage him very quickly. And the enemy's just lost one of their Artys. The Stug Dry Aslains is actually working. He just found the M41 HMC and took him out. Now, where is that IKV? Well, I think I noticed there was Tracer coming from nearby. And there's the IKV-90B. I think the other enemy Arty is nearby, because I saw Tracer going back towards the Stug from around the middle of the map. So I think the other enemy Arty, a gorilla, is somewhere in the middle. Maybe on Temple Mount. There is the IKV. Oh, we got a hit and a high roll, 514. Now he needs to hide because, yeah, that 90mm, it's actually 240 Alpha, I think, or is it 220 Alpha? Here he comes. And one shot to kill him, and that's 7 kills. So he's on for a Radley's if he can get the last kill, which is the gorilla. Now I think he's headed in the wrong direction at the moment, because I think the gorilla is actually towards the centre of the map. And yep, we know now exactly where he is, because he's actually in the south, right in the south, near our cap area. He may even be in our cap area, or near it, anyway, right next door to it. And that may be why I saw the shell going back towards our gorilla, our Stug rather. The Stug's looking around the south side of the map. Oh, he's been spotted, so he is close. He is next to the cap on this side of our cap. So he's very close. Now, could he wipe us out? Well, he might be able to penetrate our armour with one 15cm round. So he could probably shotgun us and do fairly serious amount of damage. Our gorilla's headed up into the corner. I'm not sure why he's going up there, because he can't help anybody from that corner. What he could do is he could head towards the enemy cap. Oh, and now he revealed himself just as he fired. And now we know exactly where he is, but he auto-aimed on. He shouldn't have done that. It's a long aim time for this gun. And consequently now he's got to wait for the reload to go through. He needs to drive up there. By the time he gets up there, the gorilla probably would have reloaded. But he knows precisely where the guy is. And the Stug is heading for it, and he needs that kill to get the Radleys. Come on, MacGyver, you can do it. He's driving towards the Stug. The Stug will probably reduce his hit points a little, but we want this kill. Oh, denied the Radleys. The Stug Dry Aslains got the kill, and that denied it. Oh dear. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for MacGyver1970 in the SU-100Y, the box tank. He managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and he got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. He ended up with 7, just one short of getting that Radley's. And yes, the Stug could not be bothered to try and track the gorilla and allow MacGyver to take a Radley's. He probably should have typed that in text to say, please let me have the Radley's. And then the Stug might have been generous and said, okay, I'll hold him for you. Just track him in place, keep him there until you turn up and blast him. But yeah, he missed out on this occasion. Very close though, very close. He wasn't that far away from the vehicle when it was taken out. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, you can see he did get the highest damage with 3,071 hit points. Easily scored that one, because the next highest scorer was the enemy Super Hellcat, which he took out. He had 1,623 hit points, followed by the Porlak tank, who had 1,363. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of those with 7. The next highest scorers being the Stug Dry Aslains on his own team, the guy who denied him the Radley Walters, the T-29 on the enemy team, the IKV-90B, the Porlak tank, and their SU-100. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one as well, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,344 went to MacGyver, the next highest being the Cromwell B with 692, and then the VK1602 Leopard with 681. He fired 15 rounds in that game, got 9 direct hits on the enemy and 9 penetrations. Damage of 3,071 hit points, of which 2,271 were at more than 300 meters. So yes, this tank is a long-range sniper, but I have seen it played up close and personal with enemy tanks. It takes a lot of damage out of you if you do that. He received 2 hits from the enemy, both were penetrations, 3 hits by way of splash damage. The IKV-90B got around into him, and obviously that hurt. And yes, he did get splashed by the gorilla towards the end. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, I think that was the gorilla. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 7 killed, and he earned 50,788 credits on a premium count. And after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, took away 47,511 credits profit. 1,344 experience points, times 2 for the first victory, 4,032 for mission completion, 605 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 8,669 experience points altogether. So the box tank is a lot of fun to play. It is a very good crew trainer in many ways, but a lot of players who do play it, well, if they get up close and personal with the enemy, they have a bad experience, because you can easily die if they learn to put the shells straight through the casement or the armor. Let's have a look at the armor profile and see what that looks like. Well, here's the armor profile. You can see that the armor on the front of the tank is only 60mm, but it's angled, so you've got 83 there. It's more like 60 here because it's slightly flatter, as you can see. Lower plate 60mm again, with it's well angled, so you're getting about 90mm. But here's the weak spots. Obviously the casement, 60mm of armor, and it's basically, because it's slab sided, it's basically 60mm all round, so easy to get it through that big superstructure on top, the casement on top, and also you can punch it through the sides as well. At the rear it's still 60, at the sides, at the back. Even the engine deck there, it's only 20mm thin. So again, this is why this box tank is very susceptible to Arty, because it's slow, it doesn't maneuver very well, and of course it's got very thin armor on top. So if you can land an Arty shell on top of the arm, on top of this tank, then it's more likely going to penetrate. 20mm thick on top, so if the round comes in anywhere on top armor, then you might get a nice little pen and a max roll, and that will help you to take it out. So very thin armor. And it's also surprising, considering this is basically a heavy tank in disguise, because of course they took the hull of a heavy tank to convert it into the SU-100Y, but only one made. Let's have a look at the modules. Okay, driver up front in the center. He's got a radio right next door to him, and behind him in the casement we've got the 2 gunners. One on either side. Again, this is a bit of a problem if you are training crews for other tank destroyers, because you can only train, normally they only have 1 gunner in a tank destroyer, so you're training 2, which means on the box tank you actually have to have a gunner who's probably not in another tank, and he's not getting that extra training. whereas one of them is getting the benefit of this being a premium tank. There's two loaders at the back, you can just about make them out, and they're between two big ammo racks, ready racks on either side of the casement. So you can see, if you want to get an ammo rack out of this tank, you just aim for the back of the casement, and with that armor being 60mm with no angling, it's just going to go straight through if you've got enough punch and hit the ammo rack, and then obviously you've got a chance of it blowing up. The tank commander is on the it's on the left-hand side as we're looking at it right now, behind the gunners. So if you punch around, say, here, you've got a chance of actually getting the gunner, the TC, and possibly the loaders. Whoops, behind. If I move that around, you can see the loader is directly behind the tank commander as well on either side. Engine at the back, and the transmission behind him. And of course the fuel tanks are right in the centre, and there's a big deep ammo store right down low, because of course it's 13cm shells. They are very big, sometimes two-part ammunition. In fact, I think this one is a two-part ammunition, which means it's a separate projectile to the case, which is actually used to carry the charge. So if you punch it between, if you hit it between the tracks, you're going to get the fuel tank. You'll get the engine back there, but it's best to go for the casement, because that's where the ammo rack is, and that's where it'll really go bang if you can contact that one. So that's where the modules are on the box tank. I hope you enjoyed that replay. Very nice little ace tanker. He played it well, because he actually stayed back from the enemy as much as he could so that he can use his big gun to good effect. And that's what gave him that top gun, I believe, as he punched out the enemy tanks as they came into sight. And also that he came so close to getting a Radley's. If only that Stug had actually recognised that. But again, in this game, that happens so often. It's everyone for themselves. And if you haven't contacted or let the other guy know that you're after a Radley's, they'll just generally ignore it and try and take out the enemy tank themselves for the glory and for the extra credits. So pity that he missed out on the Radley's, but certainly he did win that game for his team. There's no doubt about that at all. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below, because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, please let other people know that we're giving all the proceeds from this channel to the Red Cross Ukraine appeal to help the refugees coming out of the Ukraine war. And please give us watch as many of our videos as you can, because the more videos you watch means the more money we can send them. And proof of those donations will be going up on the What Arty Noobs Facebook page, so that people can say, yep, we've seen the money has gone there. Thanks for watching.